Hi FlossTube, my name is Haley, also known as Peregrine Stitcher here on YouTube and also over on Instagram. Welcome to my channel, which is all about cross stitch. Today is Sunday, November 27th, and this is FlossTube number 12. So I have quite a bit to show you today. As you can see, I am here in my house in upstate New York. And this floss tube will not be as organized as I feel like I typically am because much like my life, things are a little bit disjointed right now. For those of you who haven't been watching my channel, I recently got a new job in Chicago, which I started last month. And so I have an apartment in Chicago and a job in Chicago. But I'm also spending a lot of time here at home in New York, where I have two older kids, 18 and 19 years old, and my pets and my house. So I've never tried to live in two places before, and I'm very grateful that I'm able to do so because I can't imagine being put in a position of having to choose between them. But I also have not kind of figured it out yet. So I'm just a little confused still. I'm not settled into a routine. I don't know what's here, what's there. Am I going to have enough room in my suitcase to bring it here or there? So anyhow, I apologize in advance if I'm kind of all over the place. And particularly, I think the life updates are going to be interspersed throughout because that's the only way I can explain what's going on. So let's start with fully finished objects because I was not able to show this to you last time because I did my last floss tube from Chicago and now I'm here in New York. Oops. So this is Princess Eliana, fully framed. Sorry for the ring light. So I don't know if you can see, I don't usually choose modern frames like this, but I felt that this fit the piece. It's metallic, it has a little bit of pink and even a little bit of orange, which I think brings out the colors on the dress. So I think it turned out really well. I have museum glass on it, so you can really see all the detail, and I just love it. So again, this might be the last time I show her, but this is done on a 32 count peaceful purple witchelt with the called for DMC. Yay, she's so pretty and very heavy. So I have this in my bedroom. It's the first thing I see when I wake up in the morning in New York, not in Chicago. But I just love that because I love her vibe. It's just very free and not caring what anyone else thinks. And it's just about doing what you want in life and being fabulous about it. So the other piece that I had hoped to show you was Elizabeth Isles. She's still at the Framers. The frame is on back order. I checked with them this week and the frame is supposed to come in next week. So hopefully I'll be able to show her to you in my next floss tube towards the end of December. This next thing has nothing to do with cross stitch, but it is a fully finished object. So I'm going to show it now. And again, this is sort of disjointed, but it's just the coolest thing. So for those of you who follow me on Instagram, you might have heard this, but let me just tell you the story. The house that I live in here in upstate New York is a historic house. Part of it was built in 1820, and it was the original pub here in the village that I live in, and it used to be over towards the center of the village. And it still has like the wide plank floors, like it's really, really old. Sagging floors, leaking ceiling, all that kind of thing. Anyhow, in 1840, they moved it over to the current location and the rest of the house was built in 1840. And it was built by a master carpenter in the area who built many of the historic homes in this village, many of which are on the National Register, including this one. And I think what's special about it is that he built this house for his own family. And they lived here for, I want to say, at least 40 years. They raised their kids here. And so I say that because it's just, you could kind of feel the love and care that he took in building it, and the way it's situated on the lot and the way the light comes in, and it's very solidly built, you know, considering the age. So I really, really love my house. You know, another reason why I just can't even consider selling it. And so I've lived here about 12 years. And last time I was in New York, I was sitting on the porch with a friend of mine. We were chatting, and the mayor pulls up. Now, this is not unusual. It's a very small town. The mayor is Mike, and he lives around the corner from me. Anyhow, he saw that I was sitting out on the porch, and he stopped by, and he brought me this. This is an original painting of my house. And it was done in about 1950. And the daughter of the family who used to live here probably from like 1940 to 1990 has gotten older and is going into assisted living and needed to get rid of things. And so she sent me this painting of the house. And it's a beautiful painting, and I love it. I mean, it looks a little bit different now. Like, I've changed all the landscaping. This tree is like 2 times bigger. And I've, you know, but more or less it's about the same. And so I just thought this was so cool. I literally started crying because it was so generous, and it's just such an incredible object to have. I'd always thought about trying to do a cross stitch, like from a photo of the house, but this is great. I don't know how to do a cross stitch. That would be huge. Anyhow, I just thought that was really cool, and I wanted to share it with you. Okay. Now, I did, let's see. Let me show you my finishes next. I have a few finishes, but one of them I don't have here to show you. I have 2. So the first thing I finished was 1844 Ladyman by Bendy Stitchy. And I've been working on this for a while. When Rai the guy started his sale, I started it, but I was really bad. I never posted any updates or pictures, but I finally finished it just a couple of weeks ago. And I thought it turned out really well. This is done on a 32 count vintage country mocha with the called for DMC 2/2. And it's got these little, I don't know if you can see the little brass buttons on the jacket and the side of the pants, which is very cute. And I like the texture down here, which she has going, you know, just tent stitch in alternating directions. So yeah, this is very cute. Ryan made his into a gorgeous project bag, which is such a great idea, because I don't know if I'll frame this, but I also don't know how to sew. So I don't know what I'll do with this, but I'm enjoying it, and I had a great time stitching it, except for the 1/1 face, because I hate doing 1/1. But I thought it turned out really well, and it was a lot of, you know, it was a lot of fun. Okay, and then for Sampler September, I also finished I Am No Bird by Modern Folk Embroidery. I started this last November, during Black Sampler November. And I finished it. So yeah, so this is on a 32 count linen by Needle and Flax called Dolly Madison. And I'm using Roxy Floss Co. chalkboard floss, 2/2. And I just love how this turned out. I originally thought I would put this in my library that I'm hoping to have here in my house in New York. I might change that, which I'll talk about in a minute. Okay, so that is I Am No Bird. Excited to finish that. And then my last finish, which I don't have to show you, but I finished Rejoice Evermore. If you want to see it in its finished state, it is on my Instagram. And I just loved working on it. I couldn't put it down, so I just went ahead and finished it. And I used the Evertote kit. So I got 40 count porcelain and the Roxy Floss Co. conversion. The only difference was I made a mistake. I just used the wrong blue on these birds. I used the lighter Pacifica blue, but I actually kind of like how that turned out. So anyhow, the reason I don't have it is because I took it to the framer yesterday. I really wanted to get it framed soon, and they are not open again before I go back to Chicago, so I had to just sort of make a call. So I took this and 4 other pieces. I took Move Forward in Love, which is a gift from my trans daughter. I took Hannah Wells, which is a red alphabet sampler, and I took GBH 1848, which is a sampler, kind of a red sampler with florals in it. And I also took one, I showed this on one FlossTube a long time ago, but it's like from my past finishes because I did this maybe 10 years ago. So I'll show you on my phone. I don't know if you can see this. It's a Dimensions kit, and it's peacock butterflies. And so I'm framing it with this really cool teal silk mat and a gold frame. And the reason I pulled this one out is because I'm trying to decorate my apartment in Chicago. And I realized when I bought stuff for one of the bathrooms, I got like teal towels and a purple robe and like all these accessories that were teal and purple. And I thought, oh, peacock colors. This would be perfect. So I'm getting that framed to put up in the bathroom there. I think it'll look cool. And then the other thing I'm working on for my apartment is my red sampler wall, which is going to go up in my living room. I finally decided, because right now it kind of feels like a hotel. It doesn't feel like home. It's comfortable. I love it. But I need to make it feel like home. So I'm taking 3 pieces back with me from my house here to get started. So I'll just show those to you quickly because I have them here. So I'm taking Rose Ada Featherstone, which I love. And these are very loosely red samplers, very loosely. It's more like a sampler wall than a red sampler wall, but they kind of are red themed. And then I'm taking Strawberry Fields Forever. And this one is Redbird Sampler by Brenda Gervais. And then by the time I'm back here in December, I should get the other 3 pieces back from the framers. So Rejoice Evermore, Hannah Wells, and GBH 1848. So that'll be 6 pieces, and then I'm gonna put the pedal to the metal on some other ones. I want a few more like alphabet samplers to kind of go in between the ones with houses and so forth, and just kind of make a nice composition. And I think it's gonna look really cool. And I ordered a couch. So basically the red sampler wall will be above the couch. This is the couch I ordered. It's pretty. And it's kind of a slate blue, which I think will bring out some of the secondary blues that are in a lot of these samplers. And so it basically, there's this whole blank wall behind the couch. And the couch, if you're sitting on a couch, you're facing like a windows. So I think it'll look really, really cool. And I think, you know, even with the 6 pieces that I'll have, that'll be a good start, and I will build on that over time. Okay, so I'm going to move on to other things I've been working on this month. So I did a little bit on Miss Bingley's library, because this is very good for travel. It's good for the plane, which I'm a frequent flyer now, apparently. And so here's where I'm at with that. Last time I had just done all the things on top of the roof. So now I've done the roof and a good chunk on the house. And really all I have left is to finish the white on the house, do the words on the bottom, and there's a little plume of white smoke that needs to come out there. So this has been a lot of fun. It's, I want to say, let's see, this is a 32 count paper bark. That might be Fox and Rabbit, I can't remember. But I like the color. And it's done with the called for over-dyed cottons. So I'll probably finish that on the next couple plane rides. And then I also worked on my memorabilia, which is at the Met. And here's where I'm at with that. Still working on the skirt, but I got a good chunk done. I finished, I finished the rest of the sash. That's the end of the sash, no, almost to the end of the sash. And then I did this back part of the, this whole back part of the black dress. And the skirt is really the most stitch heavy part of this. The rest of it is pretty sparse. And so I can't remember which fabric this is. I want to say it's Fiber on a Whim, but I can't remember the exact color. I'll have to look it up. But I'm using the called for floss, and it's going really well. I think I'll have this done in a couple more months, because you can see it's just, you know, this is all of this in here is beading, and a lot of this is beading as well. So the biggest part to get through will be her 1/1 skin, you know, the top part of the dress, and then this is all beading. So I'm enjoying working on that. My next memorabilia is going to be tea, and so I was able to get my giveaway off to Caitlin Hare, which was a copy of the chart for tea for memorabilia. I don't have it here. But you know, hopefully we'll start a stitch along with that sometime in 23. I want to finish this one first. But that should be done in a couple months. So sometime early in 2023, we'll get started on tea. I also, let's see, okay. I also did quite a bit of work on Night Walk Down by the Blue Flower. Show you where I'm at with this. Oops, I still have a thread in there. Sorry. So yeah, I did quite a bit more. As I mentioned before, this is for a friend for their birthday, and I was hoping to be a lot further. I'll tell you what happened. I'll tell you what happened. So I was working on this furiously. I think I was working on it about a week straight, and I got back to New York, and this friend and a couple other friends said, hey, you want to come over for dinner? Which is great, at one of their houses. And so I said, yeah, that's great. But I don't have a car, so I don't have a way to get there. And it seemed like that would be fine. And one of them would come get me. We ordered Vietnamese. I put in my order, and then it got closer to it. I was like, I don't have a way to get there. Can someone come pick me up? And, you know, one of them said, the one whose house it was at said, I can't leave. I've got a bunch of teenagers here. I can't leave them alone, which I get. And so I said to the other two, hey, you know, could one of you pick me up on the way? And in the meantime, I tried to get an Uber. I tried to see if one of my kids would give me a ride. They couldn't. They were both working late. And I tried to see if my neighbor could give me a ride. Anyhow, nobody could give me a ride, and they kind of ghosted me. So, I don't know. That was, I mean, I'm not the type to hold a grudge, so I'll get over it. But that kind of sucked, really did, because you know, I was kind of trapped here in my house, and they wouldn't even come to get me, or at least say, hey, Haley, I'm sorry. It's just not going to work out for any of us to give you a ride for, you know, whatever reasons. I don't care. Anyhow, but it kind of made me not want to keep stitching on that for a little bit. I will finish it for her. I will. But at the moment, I was kind of peeved, as I'm sure you might understand. So I'll have to figure out. I do need transportation. But thankfully, my neighbors... and again, you know, my neighbors are super nice, but they had company, so I couldn't ask them that weekend. But they've now said I can use their second car anytime I need it. So that was very generous of them, and I won't have to worry about getting trapped again. So anyhow, when I put that away, I got out Birds from Bernhardt's books for a little bit. And I just did a little more work. I have to do this in small spurts because, as I've mentioned before, it's a bit difficult to work on. I think this is the right way. So I finished the middle part of the top border. And this is on a 36 count, one of a kind, formerly known as Cherry Cobbler. And I'm using Roxy Floss Co. Mother of Pearl 1/2. So it's looking good. But again, I can only do that in short spurts. And then the last couple days, I have been working on the November portion of the MFE 2022 stitch along. And I actually still have it in my Q-snap, so I'm really not that far along, but basically the November part is this way from the middle of this tree of life. So I'm hoping to finish that, the November part before the end of November, because the December part is coming out in a few days, and then I can actually finish it. So I'm really excited about that. I have plans for that also in my apartment in Chicago. So like when you walk in the front door of my apartment, there's this long hallway, and on the right there's like a washing machine, dryer, and then a coat closet where you put your coat and everything. And what I want to do is put like a very narrow, I'll show you a picture of it, table like that across the hall from the coat closet, because you need a place like to drop your keys and your mail and your phone and stuff, so then you can take your coat and boots and hat, gloves, all that kind of stuff off because it's Chicago and it's freezing. So anyhow, I think the MFE 2022 Sal will be perfect like over that table because it's pretty big. So it'll be a nice statement piece, and then it'll be at the end of the hallway so that when you go to the end, that you turn left to go down another hallway into the living room. So you'll also be able to see it from the couch in the living room. So I think it'll be a nice, just like statement piece at the end of the hallway there. And who knows, I might even do more black samplers along that hallway. I have to think about that. So anyhow, I'm trying to, figure out ways that I can make it a little more homey there. In terms of haul, I really, again, I haven't bought that much, partly because I don't know where I live. And so every time I think about ordering something, I think, well, how long will it take to get here? Where will I be? So should I have it sent to Chicago? Should I have it sent to New York? And I get myself all worked up about it, and I end up not ordering it at all. So I haven't really ordered a lot. I'll figure this all out. I don't know if I showed you. I did order this one, Song of the Nightingale, of course, because it's modern folk embroidery. But again, this will look really good in my spare bedroom with the colors that I have going on in there. And I'm going to use this color combination, which was on Everto. I don't know if you can see it. It's Roxy Floss Co. And it's the Whiz, which is a dark blue, Powdered Up, which is a light blue, and Peach It Sister, which is a kind of a peachy pink. And so I think that it'll look really good on this, and it will be perfect for that room. And also, I did immediately order the 2023 Sal for Modern Folk Embroidery, which looks incredible. And I think I'll probably use not the same colors, but coordinating colors, because that is going to be a pretty big piece, and I'll also put that in that room, which I think will look really nice in there. The only other thing I have in the works, I did get the holiday countdown box from Everto and Modern Folk Embroidery. That's going to start on December 1. I did take an eensy-weensy peek at the first envelope because I couldn't help myself. I'm not going to tell you what's in it because I don't want to spoil it, but it's good. I just kind of wanted to get a sense of how much stitching there's going to be every day so that I can incorporate that into my plans. And it's not much. It's really, it's not going to take any time at all, honestly. Probably would take 15 minutes. But it's good. It's good. I'm super excited to start that. And the only other haul that I have, I guess it's the only other haul that can fit going back and forth in my suitcases, are my floss clubs. So I have the November flosses from Leo and Roxy. So the neutrals are a nice sort of patriotic blend here. We have Sangria, Fossil, This and That, Peekaboo, and Frosting. That was my cat racing upstairs. I don't know what freaked him out. And then these are the Brights. I loved getting these colors in November. Oh, it makes me want to go to the Caribbean. Pewter, Teal My Heart. Love that teal. Aquatics, Drizzle, and Pink About It. Oh, just love that combination. And then I also got Color and Cotton. I'm still getting these. So I got the 10, these are the regular 10 flosses from the club. Again, just really nice autumn Christmassy colors. Open Fire, Gingerbread, Chestnuts Roasting, Evergreen, and Up on the Rooftop. And then these are Fruitcake, Snowflake, Jingle Bell, Jolly Suit, and Good Cheer. So yeah, good Christmassy holiday colors. And then the 5 classic collections. This is from their ongoing collection if you just want to build up your stash of Color and Cotton. I got Nickel, Pine Tree, Merlot, Pale Ochre, and Tusk. So yeah, those are all good. I still have to, I don't know how long I'll keep these going. Maybe I'll switch to some fabric clubs instead, but the fabric clubs are kind of hard to get into, so I don't know. Let me look at my list and make sure I got everything stitchy related. Yes. So yeah, other than that, I kind of interspersed my life updates throughout here, but yeah, I'm sort of having this kind of existential crisis of sort of not knowing where home is. And I'm also having this thing where every time I go to one place or the other, I get sick. And so I have to get on top of that. I think it's just stress. So we'll see. So like in November, I spent the first 2 weeks in Chicago, second 2 weeks here. I'm going back to Chicago. I'll spend the first 2.5 weeks of December there, and I'll come back here until the new year. I don't know. I don't think that's something I will be able to sustain long term, like the 2 weeks here in New York. So I don't know if I will do kind of a couple times a month for a week or a long weekend. I don't know. I can't figure it out. And I keep totally like messing up every time I buy my plane tickets. I keep buying them the wrong way, like to go from Syracuse to Chicago, and they need to be from Chicago to Syracuse and back again. I don't know. It's a lot to figure out. I'm trying to be patient with myself because it's all new. It's a brand new job. It's pretty stressful. I'm trying to get a handle on what's going on. I'm meeting a lot of people, you know, and you kind of just have to be on all the time, which is expected. So it's fine, but it's a lot of stress and trying to manage things here when I'm away. Both of my kids are kind of acting out in weird ways. Between the two of them, they managed to take 4 ambulance rides to the hospital last month. 4. 2 of which happened during the 5 days that we didn't have insurance. 5 days. So I don't know what's up with that. They're fine. They're fine. And maybe I even mentioned this last time. But like, you know, one of them went to the hospital for a bad nosebleed. The other one went for cramps. And so I'm like, kids, you're killing me, okay? You cannot take an ambulance to the hospital. Call your dad or call grandma or call me, and I will have any of a number of people give you a ride to the doctor. Do not take an ambulance unless you are literally on death's door. So, yeah. And then, you know, not being here in the house. So one of my chunky cats, Oliver, tore the cat door off the back. And so it was just this gaping hole letting the cold air in. There's nothing I could do about it until I got here. And so I was able to get somebody to come. I had to get a whole new door installed with a cat door because I was trying to block it up, but they were just climbing the walls trying to get out. So anyhow, so life is a little bit chaotic, but it's good. It's all good, and I'm gonna figure this out. And I've got stitching to keep me calm in the interim, and FlossTube. So I appreciate that. So anyhow, I'll probably be back sometime along the end of December, probably when I'm back in New York. So I'll try to make sure I bring everything to show you. And I should have my 5 frame pieces by then too. So that will be pretty exciting. So anyhow, I hope everyone is enjoying the time away with family and friends. And here we go into December, holiday season, which is always a rush. So hope you guys have a great time, and I'll see you next time. Take care.